Long ago, in the ancient city of Baghdad, there lived a prince named Bayajidda, also known as Abu Yazid. Born into royalty, his destiny should have been to rule. But fate turned against him when a fierce conflict over the throne erupted between him and Queen Zidam, sometimes called Zigawa. Forced into exile to save his life, Bayajidda left his homeland behind and began a long and perilous journey across Africa. After many trials, he arrived in the powerful Borno Empire, where he was welcomed by the Mai, the king of Borno. There, Bayajidda found refuge and honor, and he married the king's daughter, Magaram, also known as Magira. For a time, it seemed his wandering had ended, but tensions soon grew in the royal court. Jealousy and suspicion surrounded the foreign prince, and a plot against his life began to unfold. Realizing the danger, Bayajidda fled Borno with his wife. Their escape led them westward until they reached a place called Gabas. There, Magaram gave birth to their son, Biram. Bayajidda, however, could not remain. Driven by destiny and uncertainty, he left his wife and newborn child behind and continued his journey alone, a wanderer once more. Eventually, Bayajidda arrived in the ancient town of Daura, in what is now northern Nigeria. Exhausted and thirsty, he approached the home of an old woman named Ayana and asked for water, but she told him of the town's terrible plight. Daura was terrorized by a giant magical serpent named Sarki, a word that means both king and serpent in Hausa. The monster lived in the Kusugu Well, the town's only source of water, and allowed the people to draw water only once a week, on Fridays. When Bayajidda heard this, he refused to accept such oppression. Despite warnings from the townspeople, he went to the well at night, armed with a sword, some say a knife specially forged by local blacksmiths. There, he confronted the monstrous serpent. In a fierce battle, the exiled prince struck and killed Sarki, freeing the well and the people of Daura forever. At dawn, Bayajidda carried the severed head of the serpent before Queen Daurama, the ruling queen of Daura, and the assembled townspeople. Their terror had ended. Their hero stood before them. In gratitude, Queen Daurama married Bayajidda, a union that transformed Daura's society from a matriarchal system to a patriarchal one. Because Bayajidda did not at first understand the Hausa language, the people called him Bayajidda, meaning he didn't understand before. The name remained, and the stranger became a king. From this union came a son named Bawo. Bawo grew and fathered 6 sons of his own. Together with Biram, the son Bayajidda had left in Borno, they founded the 7 legitimate Hausa states known as the Hausa Bakwai: Daura, Kano, Katsina, Zazzau, also called Zaria, Gobir, Rano, and Biram. Thus, from exile, courage, and destiny, Bayajidda became the legendary ancestor of the Hausa people and the slayer of the serpent whose defeat gave birth to kingdoms.